meeting of the Parks and Public Works Committee together. See Clerk Dean, take roll and all that stuff. And then let's move on to agenda approval.
Moved.
Second.
All right, that was easy. And public comment. Anybody here to make public comment today? No? We will close public comment and move on to approval of the minutes from our last meeting, November 4th.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we are approved. And moving on to the next is our first agenda bill 25-110. East Side Transportation Agreement. Who's going to talk to us about that one?
I guess that would be me.
Is that going to be you?
Thank you. Yes. So we received the updated ILA or the agreement from King County. They're asking us to sign this. In the past, we have not, it doesn't appear to have been brought before council, but this time we are bringing it before council and apparently we've been with them for a number of years but I was not able to find all of the signed agreements. I did find the most recent one and then one from further back. So and speaking with King County, we are supposed to have a council liaison on this East Side Transportation Group. So that's something that perhaps we can consider coming into the new year. So that we can have a representative on that, but
I'll be happy to do. Oh, wait, no.
So we are just requesting to approve this ongoing East Side Transportation Partnership Agreement, and it's for from 26 to 29.
Well, this seems like a no-brainer, but I would question whether we should put it on consent since it's something that none of the council apparently knew.
Yeah. Oh.
So,
well, I mean, it's monetarily, it's not something that the council has to vote on, but it is for informational purposes.
Yeah.
Only, I guess I would say.
yeah, and I would imagine that other council members would be interested in that liaison position. I know Councilmember Watton talks a lot about transportation. Everybody talks about transportation, so
Yeah, he does.
there might be real interest to. You can have some competition.
We even
Have to make some enemies on this one.
know when the meetings are.
You know, are the meetings? Does it say in there?
The second Friday of the month. Most of them are remote,
it's
and then
noon.
a handful of them are in person at rotating locations.
Ooh, like that restaurant at the top of the Space Needle?
No.
No. No.
No. Well,
okay.
apparently this last year, 2 were in Redmond and 1 was at the Sound Transit building.
So I have a
That's
question.
exciting. Another body on which to get nothing done about transportation. That's fantastic. Okay, so non-consent on this one, yes?
Yes.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Chair.
Was there more?
Well, I do have a question. So I think the Valley only gets 2 votes, so maybe that's why we didn't have a representative there.
Say that again?
The Valley, there's 4 cities, and so there's only 2 votes. And so most likely there were representatives from other cities representing Snoqualmie as well. But so I'll have to relook at it in the next year.
That is true. I added that as part of the exhibit that we, so these 4, and it's on the screen, these 4 cities, they get 2 votes. And then so, but our position is still vacant. So I think that of these 4, you would collaborate with each other and then
Right.
vote.
So, so 2 votes, does that mean does that mean necessarily only 2 seats?
We're
I
one
think-
group, we're part of
Yeah.
one group,
Yeah.
the Snoqualmie Valley
Vote.
Cities group.
And are the votes split up Carnation, Duval, North Bend, Snoqualmie?
Yes.
That's the 4 agencies that make up the Snoqualmie Valley
Right.
Cities.
But would,
I don't know.
you don't know? Okay.
We don't really know a whole lot about this. Maybe.
I think you're
Deb
doing great.
knows.
Yeah, you collaborate with the other 4 cities and then you decide how you guys will vote, and you get 2 votes out of it.
Okay.
That's what I do. I attend the meeting.
Are they super exciting?
Depends what you like.
Have you had more than 2 representatives from those 4 cities show up in any meeting?
They never show.
They never show up. All right, so it's not an issue.
Duval council member sometimes.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever. Somebody can't do integer math, whatever.
Non-consent, please.
Okay,
Sounds like
great.
something great for perhaps a brand new council member.
Let's be nice.
Okay, moving on. Next, we've got AB 25-111, amendment of Class 4 Work Crew Member Agreement with Washington State DOC. Is that you, Jason? All right.
Jason Battles, Urban Forestry Stormwater Superintendent. Just wanted to speak with you about the DOC and the work they've been doing. They've been with the city since 2012. I've been working with them closely since 2023. They continue to add a lot of value to our operations in urban forestry and stormwater, supports us being able to meet our NPDES requirements. We have 48 wet ponds, stormwater ponds that we have to maintain the vegetation on, swales. Those ponds have fencing around them, which is a safety issue. And so we've used them to be able to repair those fences. And then also they are able to do work around our Parks and Public Works compound when we need support. They also support the water division when they need to have the trail cleared to go out to Canyon Springs. So they're just utilized throughout the Parks and Public Works division, but they are key to our operations. And really the shift in this contract is they're just wanting to extend it instead of doing it every year out to 2028. And then the gratuity, or basically the wages, that's their term for wages, is going to stay the same. And it's completely affordable in my view. And so I'm just here to answer any questions because I'm a strong advocate of the program, but I also recognize that you all may have some questions because maybe it hasn't been brought to your attention in quite some time.
No, I mean, I've certainly seen them doing a lot of work, both for the city and for the Railway Museum.
That's true. They do.
They
Yep.
do, yeah, a lot of the work on the tracks and stuff like that. So, but I did have one question on the contract. In looking back in the kind of the previous records, things have always run to the end of the year, and this one just runs until a June 30th, 2028 date. Did they say why they're not going till the?
I question that as well, but I don't have an answer for you on that.
Okay, I just random.
Yeah. It's a good question though.
Councilwoman Holloway, anything?
So, no, they do great work, and in general, it's a great rate and everything else. It's timing. I'm reluctant to do a 3-year contract in the face of change of administration.
Sure.
Okay, if Mayor-elect gets in and wants to do something else, I've locked it in for 3 years. And considering that it has been 1-year extensions up until now,
Mhm.
Maybe at the end of next year, we do a 3-year extension.
Sure.
But I would like to give it 1 year for consideration under new administration and then move on, just as an etiquette thing. I have nothing, this is a great contract and everything else, nothing against that, just as an etiquette thing. I don't want to lock things in, impose them on the next administration coming.
I think we miss an opportunity if we don't lock it in. Right now we're being offered the same rates for the next 3 years. And a lot can happen in 3 years.
Is there an escalator?
No.
There's not.
So I think that's a value.
Mhm.
And are you aware of any pushback
I'm
on
not
this?
aware of any pushback.
Okay, all right.
Again, it's a matter of etiquette, in my opinion.
Well,
So let's just move it forward, non-consent. If we have to have that discussion, we can have the discussion in council.
okay, all right. The two things that have come up when we've talked about DOC workers in the past have been concern about the low rate of pay
Mhm.
and concern about the nature of the convicts that we're receiving to do work in our community.
Mhm.
And can you just speak to, are there limitations on the crimes they could have committed in order to be working in the community? And if you have anything to say about the rate of pay.
Yeah. Well, my answer is yes, there is some sort of conditions that the DOC has. I don't know exactly what that bar is, but it's clear that they're sending us people who are on their way back into civil society with everybody else. So it's not like they've got folks that are going to be in there for like another 5 years, right? They're helping supporting them in transitioning. As far as the pay, what I've been told is that it's actually a higher paying position if you are a prisoner in the Department of Corrections. And they're getting a lot of personal value out of it. I've seen it. I've heard it from them. They like to be able to come out and do the physical labor. They have opportunities to get paid. And a lot of them just come out to choose to do this work. And so I think it's relative. Obviously, it's relative in the DOC, very different than out in the real world. But when talking to DOC leadership, that's what they're focused on. Folks being able to transition, who are going to be transitioning, and that they're just being able to feel pride in doing work, good work every day. And we are able to provide that for them.
That's helpful. It sounds like we're gonna put this forward on non-consent, so there will be some discussion of this on Monday night. I don't know if you'll be present at that meeting. But if you are, if you could come with some details about the nature of the charges against convicts that we have working in the community, I think that might be of value to some of the council. Just whatever details you can take up. Anything else?
I have no concerns. They work in front of my house all the time. So I have no problem with them. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So non-consent then. That brings us to AB 25-117, amendment of landscape maintenance agreement for facilities.
Good evening, Jeff Hamlin, Director of Parks and Public Works. So this is really just an extension of an existing contract. So for this one in particular, for the facilities, we have 3 of them tonight, this being the first of the 3. This is for landscape maintenance around City Hall, the police station, the fire station, and the YMCA. And Atwork has been doing this. I think we initially signed this agreement in 2023, I believe, or 2022 is what I think it was. Yeah, 22. And we extended it last year for a single year, and we look to extend it again for one final year. This is the last option that we have, so one more year. That's the same on all 3 of these contracts. The price increase is according to the CPI, so they didn't put an escalator in. So this is a good value for us. The price will go up by 2.8%. It's really the only change to this contract is that escalator in cost, the 2.8% increase, and the the end date, which is just extended out for one more year. Okay. Any questions?
And I'm gathering Parks and Public Works is still happy with their work.
Yeah. I mean, with all contractors, you'd say relatively happy, right? Because, we have to manage them, but they do good work. We had NLS before, a different company, and we actually had, I think, more problems with them than we do with this firm. These guys do I think, a good job. Smaller crew. It seems to be the same people, and we get good service from them.
Okay.
So as you're speaking to us now, are you speaking to us about 117, 118, and 119?
I could say the same thing about all 3 of them because it's exactly the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you guys have any specific questions about those other contracts as well?
They're all 1-year extensions?
1-year extensions. And then we're going to rebid.
And all 2.8%.
All 2.8% on all each of them. Correct. And then we will rebid for the next contract. So we'll put these out to bid, and price is probably going to go up probably quite a bit. Just
Well, let's
because
take
the
the
prices
savings
are
while we
going up.
can, yeah.
Take it while we can. That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay, anything else? Thank you.
Mhm.
Now who's going to talk to us about the Snoqualmie Valley Health Lift Station update?
Chair,
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
are those consent or non-consent?
Are we good with consent on those? Yeah, consent.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right, evening, Patrick Fry, project engineer. Just to provide another quick update, as I have been every other week. We are expecting the tech memo alternatives analysis, which is really no longer much of an alternative analysis, as we discussed last time, because we've essentially just narrowed it down to one option of just additional wet well and then a cost estimate. And so we're expecting all those, hopefully by the end of the week, but really we'll say before Thanksgiving. And then that means that we'll have December to mull it all over, kind of talk amongst the team. And then in January, which has always been the plan as well, is that first January meeting, we'd be coming back to council for approval for full design. And so really it's all on schedule is the brief update. So yeah, that's it.
Communication with the hospital going well? Are they pleased with the progress? Or have you reached out to them yet? Or are you waiting until you have a final decision?
A little of both. So there's just been brief updates here and there, just saying, essentially giving them the update of, hey, we're on track. Hey, this is, what things are looking like. We're not having regular meetings with them concerning it, just because there's not much value to be gained from having it. But we have updated them.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Good. Anything else?
Nope.
No? All right.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep.
And that brings us back to you, Mr. Hamlin. Director report.
Well, I got 45 minutes, so I can regale you with all kinds of stuff today.
Go through all 4 pages.
I'll keep it brief, or at least keep it pertinent to what's going on. So staffing, let's start with staffing. We recently hired just this week a new person in water to replace Austin Hilton, who had left us. He moved back to Michigan. So we got a nice young guy. His name is Jaeger Maxfield, who's Jaeger Maxfield, I'm sorry. Nice young guy. Just met him today. Did his onboarding, and he's green as grass, but he has worked in consulting or contracting before. He's been a contractor with his dad, grew up doing it. So he knows some plumbing, and he's not afraid to get his hands dirty, strapping young fellow. So I think he's going to fit in really nice. Our guys really liked him in the interview. So we're pleased to have him. So we got a good one. At least we think we do. And then we intend to start interviews for our parks position. Recall we have moved Ryan Barnett up to the superintendent for parks, and then we recruited within and we moved Dalton Hawk into the lead position. So that left us a vacancy in the parks maintenance group. And so we need to backfill that position. And we intend to start interviews, I think, in 2 weeks. At least that's the plan right now. So we'd like to get that. It is winter season, so there's not a huge rush, but our guys are busy. We're really busy right now. And that's probably a good segue into what we're doing. So we're in full fall, moving into winter operations. So it's all about leaves right now. We got the street sweeper going a lot. And so we're picking up a lot of leaves. And then holiday lights. Holiday lights is taking a fair bit of time. It's just, it's one of our annual tasks to put up holiday lights. It takes a long time to do it, and it takes a long time to take them back down. But I think it adds a lot of value to downtown, and I think people love them. And I think our folks enjoy putting them up. They kind of like putting up the displays, and we kind of fit it in between our regular duties, but they do a good job. I think that just driving here today, I was impressed by the precision and the effort that they put into it. So it looks pretty good. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? So, the GFCs, with the utility rate study, we are working on those. We have, FCS Group is working on, their formulas for that, and you can expect to see that. We're hoping to get it to you by the end of the year, but the end of December is, quiet time, so you probably won't see GFCs till, early part of next year. So January, you can expect to see those coming. We are working on some road maintenance projects. Our design studio is going well. We're kind of getting that up and running, and Hind has taken the lead on that now, and she's doing really well. We're mostly trying to get standardized drawings together. We are working hard to update our construction and design standards. Right now, we use the SR2 design standards for the whole city. Those are outdated. Those were developed, I can't remember. I think back in the 2009 period or something was the last update we had for the SR2 standards. And things like, the approved products list and a lot of the design references in there are obsolete. They're old. It needs to be updated. And then I have
no idea what you're talking about.
yeah, I'm
Give me an
sorry.
example.
So when we have design, so any designer, any engineering firm who approaches the city, who does work for the city or for a developer who is working in the city, they need some kind of a design standard to work off of, right? So what is your standard street? What's our sidewalk? What's our driveway detail look like? What fire hydrants do we use? I mean, for every utility, for everything that we do, and you walk outside and everything you look at is public works, right? So we have standards for all of those things. And the standards that we have were developed a long time ago. They're very standard, right? I mean, it's the thing that everybody else does, but they rely on a lot of old references. And so we just need to get those things updated. And so we have a scope. We contracted with Petite last year, I think about a year ago is when we got this started. We haven't had much progress on it, but we just got that kicked off again. So we'll be developing a new set of standards for the city over the next year. And we'll probably have that done by the end of summer is what I anticipate. We have to go through it by chapter and review it and some back and forth to get it done. But, we'll make good progress on that. Part of what we're doing too is, like I was saying, we're developing what we call our design studio, which is our in-house design capabilities. This will save the city a lot of money in hiring consultants to do simple jobs, right? There are things where we need to do construction. It could just be some utility upgrades or, a sidewalk here or, improve a road there, right? That's all things that we can do in-house if we had the capabilities. Well, I have 3 great engineers who know how to do it. And I've set up design studios in other firms, my own firm, for instance. I know how to do this. So we're going to take this opportunity right now to learn or to get that skill and that capability in-house. And that will save us a significant amount of money. It's just in design fees that we pay to consultants to do this work for us. So that's a money saver for the city, and this is a way to make ourselves more efficient. And so that is progressing nicely. And I think that we will actually have our first in-house design project constructed this summer. That's our goal that we've given ourselves. And we plan to do 2 of them this summer. Water reclamation facility is complete, done.
Hey,
Yeah. So you'll see a closeout on that one here fairly soon. We're just finishing up, what we call commissioning. Commissioning is kind of a lot of performance testing and operating the equipment, and then ironing out essentially all the bugs before the final handoff. So we are nearing the end of that, and everything is working well. And yeah, yes, but we're doing good. I think I'm pretty happy with that project. Very happy with that project. Andrew Vining ran that project, and he did an outstanding job. Speaking of Andrew, he's also doing the water reclamation reservoir project. We have, I don't know if you've been out there lately, but all the walls are poured, and they have the post-tension tendons have been tensioned and grouted in place, and they're building the false work for the ceiling and for the roof structure on it. And they are also pouring forms for the floor in the pump station, the irrigation pump station. And I believe that pour is scheduled for next week, weather dependent, somewhat weather dependent. So that's coming soon though, and progress is being made on that. And we're very happy with the contractor. The contractor's performing very well, and his subs. So yeah, we're looking forward to a very successful project there. Another project, that was also Andrew Vining's project, and he's doing good. The next project I want to talk to you about is the River Trail project. You've probably noticed the orange construction fencing out along 202. So clearing and grubbing at this point, and they are getting ready to, well, not quite ready, but they will soon. You'll start seeing them putting in gravel to kind of just firm up the trail structure. And then we have 2 bridges that will be built, which are kind of prefab bridges, and they're getting ready to do the footings on those. So that will be progressing. I would say we're looking at about maybe 30 to 45 days to completion on that job. So that'll be a nice addition to the city when that's complete. So moving ahead.
Will you cut a ribbon?
That's a great idea. We haven't really planned for that, but I think that's a good idea to have a ribbon cutting ceremony, and when we finally get to complete
Dead
it.
of winter,
Maybe we'll kind of
really
edge it
rainy,
towards spring.
rainy day.
Yeah. Yeah, right. But I think so, yeah. That's
Do you, Director, I've seen where they've laid out the trail where that's going to be, and like you said, the kind of the cleaning and grubbing. And is there going to be any clearing of the thickets and stuff more
Yeah.
down towards the river?
Yeah, so you may have noticed that we've kind of, during the initial phase of clearing and grubbing, we did clear out some extra places where there was a lot of blackberry.
Yeah.
And so we've mowed down the blackberry, and we've kind of worked on a couple of view corridors so that someone who's on the trail can actually see the river. And we will be coming back in and replanting those areas. So we're going to need to do some spraying to get rid of the blackberry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it in that area.
Ah.
And so we mowed down as much of the blackberry that we could. We didn't want to cut down the native vegetation, right? So there's some really nice snowberry and salal and ferns and native plantings in there. And so we want to leave those alone as much as possible and get rid of the blackberry. But in order to keep the blackberry out, we got to go back in and spray. There's a particular spray that we use for blackberry, and it's not, it doesn't kill everything. It actually targets blackberries. And there's a couple other plants that it works on. And it works in a different kind of way. It's not like liquid death. What it does, you apply it at the right time, and the blackberries grow really fast, and they expend their energy reserves, and that's what kills them.
So it fools them into
Fools them-
doing it at the wrong time.
At the wrong rate. They just go nuts, and they grow really fast, and they use up whatever energy reserve that they have in their
In the root system.
yeah, within their internal structure, and that kills them, and then they die. So I think it takes 2 applications to get it all out, but we're gonna hit that pretty hard, and then we will follow up planting after we've treated for blackberry. So we want to try to give the new plantings the best chance of survival as we can, and reduce our maintenance burden on going back and removing blackberry later, right? So
As a follow-up, are you, so I was just down on the river trail lately, from the park, Sandy Cove Park down to the inlet down there, and ton of trees down there from the windstorms.
yes.
And so I didn't know if you were going that far down as far as some of the plantings and things like that, or is that not going to be, like, that area not going to be touched?
From Sandy Cove going
North,
upriver?
yeah. No,
Yes.
downriver.
Downriver.
Towards the falls,
Okay.
yeah.
So that little peninsula area is what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we've got some trees down in there. That's something that we don't want to touch. That is,
Okay.
yeah,
They're down on the trail that's commonly used to get to the beaches and stuff
Yeah.
down there.
yeah.
Like obviously more in the summertime.
We'll take a look at it. It's tribally sensitive.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so we don't want to do any cutting in there that is not sanctioned by the tribe.
Well, and again, I was just talking about like the down trees.
Yeah,
And
right.
that kind of stuff.
Even
And-
down trees.
Even down trees, you want to
Yeah.
leave it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
And a few more, we've been clear for quite some time, but I've noticed a bit of a return of a couple little homeless encampments
Hmm.
down in the area too, below where they're doing the grading and stuff like that for the river trail.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
I don't know if the workers had run into anything, is why as I was bringing it up.
We've seen the remnants of old encampments
Okay,
and we're cleaning those up.
okay.
I haven't seen anybody living in there recently. I mean, they kind of cleared out when the weather got bad.
Yeah, it looks more, maybe a little more storage, like
Y-
storing
Yeah, they have
possessions. and
junk that
stuff
they
like
leave.
that.
Yeah, yeah, there's a fair bit of that.
I didn't run into any people per se, but it was new from the last time I'd been down there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk to Dylan about it. Dylan is running that project.
Yeah.
And I walked it with him last week and we did see a couple places where there was, homeless encampment remnants
Right.
remaining. But
You're
our
cleaning
plan is
those
to
out, that's
clean
right.
all that out. Yeah, we're going to carry all that out of there.
Okay.
I mean, this is going to be a park essentially, right?
Yeah.
So we don't want that. And so we'll clean that up. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't see any people to give resources to for housing and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I usually send them over to reclaim, of course.
Right. Yeah. 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 So yeah, right now I don't anticipate we're going to have any issues with that.
Okay.
Summertime could be a different issue.
Okay.
Right. Because people do like to move in, spend the summer outside.
Yeah.
So
We all do.
yeah.
So further upriver at San Diego Park, we've had to reinforce the bank with the revetment and all that. Is there any concern that we're going to need to do that down in that area, or does the natural deadfall do some of that work for us?
There is concern. There absolutely is. We've seen since 2014, when they lowered the weir, we've seen destabilization of embankments up and down the river reach all the way through Snoqualmie. We have it in multiple locations, and there is some places where scarps have formed. There is erosion taking place along that stretch of the river. Currently, we don't have any plans to do anything with it. It is an area, rivers migrate naturally. And it's a good practice, it's best practice to let rivers migrate where you can, as long as it doesn't threaten infrastructure or, private property. In this case, this is all city property where we're noticing this. There is room for the river to migrate there. And so the best practice for those areas is to leave it alone. And unless it really becomes, critical, unless it becomes bad, I'd say we don't do anything just yet. We just continue to monitor it. And then if we think that there is a need to do stabilization, as you know, can take years to get a stabilization project done, and they're very expensive. So, we'll monitor that. And if we feel there's a need to protect any of our assets, then we'll bring that forward and let you know. And, that would start a process of getting, costs and permitting estimates and everything else that goes with it. Yes.
Councilmember Benson, as a comparison in North Bend, over at the Three Forks Natural Resource Area, the county has taken out all the bank reinforcement to leave it to the natural, and they just leave the trees on the banks for the river to move or deposit debris. And they just finished that out there. And so it definitely seeing some shifts with the change in the weather and the water levels now being as high as they are. So I find it interesting because when I saw it, I was like, wait, no, I'm used to the bank stabilization and apparently this is a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So real quickly, just the the current thinking, and it is not so current. I mean, it's been for a long time on
All of it's current
river,
thinking.
yeah, yeah, compared to what we did 50 years ago.
Majority thinking at the moment.
Oh. But so things like levees and revetments have negative consequences, which you don't notice for many years, right? It takes a while for those things to develop, especially in high gradient streams, like on the South Fork that you're talking about over there in North Bend. Those are typically high gradient streams, high sediment loads. And so trying to do revetments or levees, you tend to, rivers that move a lot of sediment tend to deposit a lot of sediment where you put up levees, right? So you get aggradation, which means the stream bed comes up because it deposits material. And when it does that, then it tends to jump. The river will jump, the stream will jump. So you'll get other channels forming. So you don't really fix the channel migration problem by putting up levees and revetments. It just moves it somewhere else, right? And so that is why we can do a revetment on, say, a Sandy Cove, because we don't want the river to take out our park. That is one spot that we want to preserve. But we do it in a way which prevents it from having negative effects in other places. So we're using soft techniques, right? So in this case, we're using what are called barbs, which kind of push the channel off the bank to protect it, but we're not drastically hardening that bank, which causes reflective movements, which cause erosion in other places, right? And then we're going to roughen it. We're going to put in plantings and other things to try to slow the water down and prevent the erosion in that area. So, I mean, there's techniques that we can use, what we call soft techniques, which will help stabilize it, but not have some of the negative effects that we typically see with, revetting structures.
Like the banks over at Park. On
On Park
curve.
Street?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is a revetment as well,
Yeah.
the Meadowbrook revetment.
Yeah.
And if I don't know, you've been to the orchard, Orchard Park, and if you go right around the back of that orchard and look at that riverbank, you'll see a big scarp that's developed there, and the county knows that they're going to have to do something about that before too long. They had come in back in their early 2000s, and they put in those piling along there. They call those the Tom Bean revetments, the Bean revetments. Tom Bean is a guy who worked for King County Rivers, and was one of the first people to kind of embrace these new styles. That worked for a long time, but it doesn't recruit wood like they thought it would, and it hasn't. It worked for a long time, but I think lowering the weir changed the river environment, and it's still in a critical energy state, meaning that the head cut. Sorry, I'm going in jargon here, but what's happened is when you change the gradient of a river, you speed the flow of the water up, right? And so at certain times of the year, during certain flood stages, you're going to get wild erosion effects. And so we are seeing that up and down the river, and Meadowbrook revetment is one of those places. The county is currently working on plans to do a new revetment at Meadowbrook, where the Meadowbrook Bridge is. So just upstream of the Meadowbrook Bridge, where our pump station is, they're going to do a revetment fix in there. And the county's they're working with different agencies. They're talking to Fish and Wildlife. They're talking to the tribe. They're reaching out to everybody. They've reached out to us. They have multiple options, and they asked us for a preference and our input on it, which we've given them. And I don't know what they are going to select, because I think they're struggling with trying to get agreement with the tribe, frankly. So anyway, that kind of takes me away from Sandy Cove, which is what I was going to talk about next, but it may be a good segue. So Sandy Cove, we have the plans are done, and we intend to bid that in, I think, hopefully late January or early February for a summer construction this year. And we are hoping that the flood of Noah doesn't happen this winter and take out our temporary solutions there, which we had put in 3 years ago.
We were promised that wouldn't happen again.
Yeah. We are pretty happy with that, the temporary solution that we put in, which is really not much more than burlap fabric, erosion control matting. We were hoping we would get a year out of that, and that would work. And it held in for the first year really well. The second year, it held in really well. There are some, it's getting tattered around the edges, but it's still there and it's still working. So if we don't have too bad of a winter, we suspect it will hold at least most of that material in. And so we won't have to bring in a lot of material fill to make the repairs in the summer.
That's great.
So that's where we're at. That's kind of my update for what we have on projects. If you have any questions, though, I'm happy to take questions
Questions about the projects?
or about any project that we have.
Well, I just wanted to make a comment. I noticed, driving by Parks and Public Works that, that you guys got a sign out for sand.
sandbag.
Staging.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that's for river flooding, issues or.
Yeah, so we get a grant every year from King County to do a sandbag filling station, right? So they pay for the sand and the bags. They actually supply us with the bags. And so we create a station on site that the community can access. So in anticipation of a flood, people will show up and they can just fill up sandbags and take them with them and use them as they need to.
How long will that be open?
All winter long
Okay.
until flood season is essentially over. So probably till March.
And then we're gonna take the sand down to Sandy Cove and fill that back
That
up.
sand pile will stay right where it is for next year. Yeah. We do actually use that sand sometimes. We'll use it in landscaping and other places, but we don't have needs for a lot of it. We'll take a yard here and a yard there. Yeah.
All right. Anything else? And I will
All right.
entertain anything else down there? No? Okay. Entertain a motion to adjourn then, I guess.
So move.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you.